Join the 28-hour SQL Server Masterclass on the Udemy platform for only $15 instead of $89. Learn how to become a future developer or either a future DBA or performance expert on SQL Server with 150 exercises. The link to the promotion is in the video description. Okay? Want to get started on SQL Server? Then join me. Is there a performance impact between indexing and column order? Okay, we will look at that. So we will use the TemDB system database and we will create a table and insert some data. Okay, it's done. Let's activate the execution plan and run this query. We start with the scan table. It's normal because we don't have, there is no index for the moment in this table. So let's create a clustered index on the ID column on this table. And let's run the query with ID, ID1 and ID2. We have an indexing on the ID column. And we will see if the order of the select has an impact on the clustered index that you have created. Okay, so we are going to play these two requests at the same time, and we will see between ID1 and ID2 in the first request, and between ID2 and ID1 in the second one, if that will change the way the clustered index is going to be traversed. So let's run the query. We played both queries and we are at 50%. So we can see that SQL Server is smart enough to understand that there is a difference between the two words. Okay? So no impact at that level. So we will create a non-cluster index on the ID column 2. And let's run again this touch query. And what will SQL tell us? We still have 50% for the request. The first request and the second one, and we have KLOOKUPs here for the two queries. Same if we create a non-cluster index now on ID1 column. Let's run the query. Is it going to have an impact or not? Let's run the second query, the two queries, sorry. And again, the same execution plan, 50%. Okay? So SQL Server is pretty smart at this point. That's cool, but is there a predefined order when creating an index? So let's drop the index. We activate the statistic IO on, and let's run this simple query. We have 624 logical reads for this query. Okay, so now we will see how we can improve performance in this request. Let's start with create a non-cluster index with the include. Okay, go and launch the select again. And here that we have the request went from 624 reads to 7. Okay, and we see that we have a seek, and that's perfect. I think we are pretty good at performance. So, however, does it have an impact if I drop the indexes on the table and change the order of the column, okay, from which I created this index? So I change ID2 and ID1 order, okay? Now it's ID2, before it was ID1, and now it's ID1. I change just ID1 and ID2. So let's create the index and let's run the query. And as you can see, it has no impact. It's always the index seek. Okay, when changing the order of the columns in the index, SQL Server is smart enough to pull up the data and see which execution plan is best for this query. Okay, so let's go to the next demonstration.